Welcome to Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette, with your host, Steve Garrett, lifetime member of the National Corvette Museum, president of the Corvette Club of Kansas City, Missouri, and radio disc jockey at the #1 radio station in Kansas City for over 45 years. Here's Steve Garrett.
Thanks for listening and watching Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette, and the only current podcast dedicated to Corvette. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. I appreciate you tuning in. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Visit wheelcraft.com and learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer a wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com today or call them at 833-840-5334. You can listen to Corvette Today on all podcast platforms. You can also listen on your smart device. Just say, "Hey Google," or "Alexa, play the podcast called Corvette Today," and you're connected. And be sure to visit the Corvette Today website. It's CorvetteToday.com. You can access everything there, including the Corvette Today merchandise store. You can also join our Corvette Today Facebook group there as well. Also, make sure you sign up for the Corvette Today emails, notifications, and updates at CorvetteToday.ck.page. And if you like YouTube, be sure to subscribe to our Corvette Today YouTube channel. See all Corvette Today episodes on YouTube as well. And be sure to patronize our flagship sponsors of Corvette Today, MidEngineCorvetteForum.com, the forum that focuses on the new mid-engine C8 Corvette. Meet a lot of fellow Corvette enthusiasts like yourself at MidEngineCorvetteForum.com. Soul Performance Products. Developed and manufactured in the United States, the Soul Performance Products exhaust portfolio has been tailored to elevate the experience of the world's most exciting sports cars, including the latest generation of the Corvette. Soul Performance Products at SOULPP.com, the official performance exhaust of Corvette Today. Aerolarri Wheels, a true forged wheel with over 20 unique styles to choose from for your C8 and wide-body versions of the C7, C6, and C5 Corvette. It's an amazing value, starting at only $23.88 for a set of 4 fully forged wheels. And use the promo code CT111 and get $100 off your purchase. Visit Aerolarri.com. That's AEROLARRI.com. And use the promo code CT111 for your $100 discount. Ciocca Corvettes. If you're a Corvette enthusiast, and I know you are since you're listening and watching Corvette Today, then you need to know about Ciocca Corvette. They're based in Atlantic City, where you can find over 100 new and pre-owned Vettes on the lot and inbound. Ciocca also ships Corvettes all over the country, custom ordered to your specifications. They're staffed with experienced pros who can answer all your questions. So don't compromise. Visit CioccaCorvette.com. That's CIOCCA Corvette.com and find out more. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. E5 Wheels. E5 Wheels is a passionate and dedicated wheel company that serves only Corvette. They make spun-forged wheels for your C8, C7, and C6 Corvette. With the best fitment in the industry, E5 Wheels ensures your wheels complement the aesthetics and functionality while optimizing the performance of your Corvette. Visit e5wheels.com or call them at 305-964-7429. And a shout out to Canadian Corvette Forum and Corvette Forum, welcoming Corvette enthusiasts from around the world. The National Corvette Museum has a new director of collections and exhibitions, and we get to meet him up close and personal on this episode. His name is Robert Maxhimer. Robert, welcome to Corvette Today.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for having me.
You bet. Robert, I always start off this way with our guests. Tell me about where you grew up. Do you have any siblings? And did you come from a car family?
Yeah, well, I grew up in the great state of Texas, South Texas, down by Corpus Christi. We were a car family in that we worked on our cars. My granddaddy was a master mechanic for about 55 years for Chevrolet. So he was a Chevrolet man. That was instilled on me early on. We always enjoyed working on our own cars. My uncle had a couple Corvettes that we loved to drive around, Galveston. A lot of good memories about that. So cars were very much part of our upbringing.
That's cool. So they were important to you as you were growing up with your granddad and everything, right?
That's right. Yeah. Cars were a big part of our family for sure.
Was there a certain car that you were attached to as a young boy? Since your granddad had some Corvettes, maybe that was the one that really kind of leaned your direction?
Well, it was my uncle that had Corvettes. My granddad, he was big into El Caminos.
Oh.
He loved his El Caminos, and I remember growing up, and I can still kind of smell the fabric in those cars on a hot Texas day. You know, it was really unique, and I've always really loved the El Camino myself, too.
That's really cool. Where did you go to school? What did you study, and what is your degree in?
Well, it's an interesting story. I fell into theater in high school and really enjoyed that, did a lot there, and wanted to go into film. So I went to the University of North Texas for a year until I realized I wanted to act in films.
Oh.
I auditioned. I got into Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh and transferred up there and had to start over as a freshman, and was there for 4 years and graduated with a degree in drama.
Very nice. Well, I tell you what, Robert, let's take our first break. When we come back, we're going to talk about your work career after you graduated school. That's coming up next on Corvette Today.
We all know that wheels make the car. Wheelcraft's PVD chrome finish in bright chrome or black chrome will take your Corvette to new levels. And it comes with a 5-year warranty. Durability is a defining feature of the Wheelcraft finish. Their PVD chrome is superior to traditional chrome, with a finish that is brake dust resistant and cleans effortlessly with soap and water. Wheelcraft offers factory wheel exchange for select C4 through C8 models, or they can apply the PVD finish to your current wheels. No matter what generation you own, Wheelcraft will transform the look of your Corvette. With every Corvette comes a unique story, and Wheelcraft has embraced this idea. When you purchase your new set of wheels, you receive a lifetime membership to the Wheelcraft Pit Crew, granting you access to your own page on Wheelcraft's website, where you can post pictures and tell your Corvette story. Visit our website at wheelcraft.com or call 833-639-4231. Arrive in style with Wheelcraft.
Hey, honey, are you awake?
I am now.
I can't sleep. Since turning 50, I keep dreaming of a red door and a blue door, somehow knowing there are only choices for retirement.
Okay.
Through the red door, we outlive our money. We have to rely on our kids. We're stuck on a fixed income. It's terrifying.
Yeah, that would suck.
But through the blue door, our money outlives us. We retire on our terms. Our kids stay our kids, not our caretakers. We make work optional.
Yes, that's much better. That's what I want too. But what do we do?
We call True Wealth & Company at 913-653-8783. They specialize in helping successful people make work optional. They're our fiduciary Blue Door personal wealth managers.
Hey, where are you going? It's 3 a.m.
I can't sleep. I'm going to check out True Wealth & Company online at retirewithtrue.com. That Blue Door is going to be our retirement.
913-653-8783. Visit us online at retirewithtrue.com. Investment advice offered through True Wealth & Company, LLC, a registered investment advisor in the state of Kansas.
Rev up your ride with the ultimate upgrade. The Radiator Grill Store is your go-to destination for top-notch C8 Corvette Stingray, Z06, and E-Ray accessories. Elevate your style with custom-painted engine bay covers, sleek front splitters, and side skirts that scream sophistication. Keep your C8 protected with premium Radiator Grill screens. Stand out from the crowd at car shows and beyond. Use code CT10 for an exclusive 10% discount off your total purchase at radiatorgrillstore.com. Don't miss out on turning heads. Upgrade your Corvette today.
And now, back to Corvette Today with your host and my husband, Steve Garrett.
Thanks for checking out Corvette Today on podcast and YouTube. It's the only current podcast dedicated to Corvette. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. You want your Corvette looking its best, don't you? Well, dress it up with bright chrome or black chrome wheels. Visit wheelcraft.com and learn about their PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or do a wheel exchange, and you get a 5-year warranty. So visit wheelcraft.com today or give them a call, 833-639-4231. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. With me is the brand new Director of Collections and Exhibitions at the National Corvette Museum, Robert Maxhimer. In this second segment, we're going to talk about Robert's work career. Robert, right out of school, you got your degree. What did you do right out of school?
Well, I was trying to pay the bills. I moved out to Los Angeles to become a big movie star. I fell into carpentry. I had a little background with that, working with my dad. I worked at a carpentry scenic fabrication shop there in the San Fernando Valley for about 4 years, building traveling exhibitions and permanent museum exhibitions and installing them all over the world. That was a pretty fun gig. I left there when I was a production manager and then decided I needed to focus on acting again. So I had a couple roles on some shows and a couple films and realized pretty quickly that I needed a full-time job if I wanted to actually have a family, which was my ultimate goal. So I got into the fine art handling installation world. So we worked at LACMA, the Getty, and MoCA, and a bunch of museums around Los Angeles. And one of our clients was Disney.
Oh, and you worked at Disney for almost 10 years. That had to be an exciting experience.
It was. I started working there right when I got married, and then we had our first child. So working at Disney, I was an all-star dad. Got to bring home a lot of stuff, and then we visited the park whenever we wanted to. But the job itself was pretty unique. I was at the Disney Archives, started as a curatorial associate. We oversaw the collections, the exhibitions, displays at the various parks and Club 33s and things all over the world. When I started, we had a staff of about 10. And when I left, which was almost 10 years later, we were at like 32. So it grew pretty rapidly, but it was a fantastic experience for sure.
Boy, you had to love the perks as well. That had to be fantastic.
Yes, it was.
Now, your job with Disney was really multifaceted. You worked with business partners. You created worldwide exhibits, which included Disney consumer products, also the Disney studios and the parks and resorts. Tell me a little bit more about all that. That sounds fascinating.
Yeah, there really wasn't an exhibition program when we started. The archives was part of corporate and part of DCCR, which was our arm to help the rest of the company. So if somebody in Japan and consumer products needed help with something, or they wanted an exhibit because they're rolling out a new princess line, they would reach out to us and we would pull things out of the archives, develop an exhibition, curate it, and then travel it through Japan. We did that there in Hong Kong and Taiwan, UAE, London. Eventually, my wife got tired of me traveling all the time. So I pitched the idea of, why don't we do a domestic tour? You know, we're doing all this work overseas, so we should try to develop something that we can travel here. And that's what we did. We built a catalog of about 4 exhibits that traveled around the United States, including the Disney 100th exhibition, which is still traveling now.
As a matter of fact, the Disney 100 exhibition is here in Kansas City right now.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm dying to get down there and see that. That's really cool. So you really were the spokesperson for the Disney Archives, weren't you then?
Yeah, being the person kind of in charge of exhibitions, I would go out, oversee the installation, and then inevitably, especially in Japan, there was a lot of press, a lot of autographs, which was very bizarre to me. It was a lot of fun. A company like Disney, people just love the brand. So it was a lot of fun talking to people, showing them new things from the archives. There weren't a lot of unhappy people. So it was a lot of fun.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Now, after you were at Disney, you went to the San Diego History Center. You were their manager of exhibitions and facilities there too.
That's correct. Yeah. So when I was at Disney, I went to the Harvard Extension School to get a certificate in museum studies, just to kind of expand my knowledge of museums, and really fell in love with nonprofits and everything that they do for communities. So that led me to make the hard decision to leave Disney and accept an offer at the San Diego History Center, which was a great introduction to working in a nonprofit. A lot different. It was a much different pace, but the community, the staff, everyone, it was all about the greater good, which is what I really, really loved. So.
Yeah. It really sounds like all of your work career with the San Diego History Center and with Disney really laid the groundwork for your new position there at the National Corvette Museum, didn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. You couldn't script it any better, going from Disney and then to the San Diego History Center for a couple of years, just to kind of decompress and really learn the ins and outs of working in a nonprofit. And then when the National Corvette Museum reached out and said they had a position, obviously the transition from Southern California to Bowling Green, Kentucky can be a bit of a change, especially for my wife, who was born and raised in La Jolla, California. But it's been a fantastic journey. And like you said, it really laid the groundwork for where I am now.
I want to talk about that. Let's take our final break, Robert. When we get back, I want to hear more about that, because it's always a cool story to hear how you got in contact with the National Corvette Museum and how you got the job that you're in right now. So let's take that final break. When we come back, we're going to talk more about your responsibilities there at the National Corvette Museum, coming up next here on Corvette Today.
Are you ready for a better insurance policy without the Corvette tax? With agreed value protection, the value of your collector vehicle will never change. Plus, you'll save money. Get a quick quote at ncminsurance.com.
The National Corvette Restored Society is celebrating its 50th anniversary this year. 50 years of affirming and promoting the preservation and restoration of the Corvette. 50 years as the foremost Corvette collector car organization for building value with its prestigious awards. Have you ever considered joining NCRS? Over 70,000 people have. We're so much more than just the nuts and bolts. The NCRS flight judging program can and often does increase the value of America's sports car by researching and publishing the leading tech manuals and judging guides for the 1953 through 2007 Corvettes, by training the best judges, and by hosting local, regional, and national judging events. And when you join, you'll get award-winning magazines like Corvette Restore and Driveline all throughout the year. Joining is simple and easy. Just go to ncrs.org and sign up. There are NCRS chapters all throughout the U.S. and all around the world. Chances are there's a local chapter near you. So join NCRS today at ncrs.org. We come for the Corvettes. We stay for the friendships made along the way.
When you want to buy a Corvette, or any Chevrolet for that matter, get yours from Hendrick Chevrolet Shawnee Mission, located in Kansas City. Hendrick Chevrolet is the largest Corvette dealership and showroom in the Midwest. With a knowledgeable sales staff and Corvette sales specialists on hand, they'll help you build the Corvette of your dreams, and they ship nationwide. With Corvette certified master mechanics on site and a huge parts department with over 24,000 parts and $2 million in inventory, Hendrick Chevrolet is well equipped to take care of your every need. From sales to service to collision repair, Hendrick Chevrolet has you covered. Visit ChevyUSA.com or call 913-384-1550.
VetFinders.com is the Internet's original Corvette classified ads website, with classified ads starting at just $25, and every ad runs until your Corvette is sold. If you're in the market for a Corvette, VetFinders.com has over 500 Corvettes for sale from all around the USA and Canada, and covering all 8 generations. Visit VetFinders.com, the Internet's destination for buying and selling Corvettes. That's VETTE Finders.com.
You're enjoying the only current podcast on Corvettes, Corvette Today.
Thanks once again for listening and watching Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. You want your Corvette looking its best, don't you? Well, visit wheelcraft.com and learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or do a wheel exchange, and you get a 5-year warranty too. So visit wheelcraft.com today or give them a call, 833-639-4231. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. With me is the new National Corvette Museum Director of Collections and Exhibits, Robert Maxhimer. In this final segment, we're going to talk more about his job there at the NCM. Robert, I always love these stories. Tell me the story about how you found out about the position at the National Corvette Museum and how you got the job.
Yeah, well, it was a job that was posted on LinkedIn. I wasn't necessarily looking for a new position, especially one outside of California, but it came up. I've always had a fascination with Corvette, and from a 5,000-foot view, just the brand and the folks that are involved with Corvette, it remind me a lot of Disney. So I was really excited with the idea of working with people that were really passionate about one singular thing like the Corvette. So yeah, they reached out, we spoke about it, and I talked it over with my wife, and everything moved very quickly. I think from the time that the job was offered to when we were actually in a house that we had just bought, moved in, it was only a couple months.
Wow,
so,
that is fast.
Very, very fast.
Yeah. And like we said in the previous segment, it really sounds like all your job experience has led you to Bowling Green almost. You're in charge of the collections, the Corvettes. You're also in charge of more than 50,000 Corvette artifacts and exhibits. You've got a good team working with you there at the NCM. Tell me, after all that, what was like your first order of business once you arrived at the National Corvette Museum?
Well, it was a bit of a whirlwind coming in, obviously 2 months in trying to adjust to a whole new town, a whole new part of the country. On a personal level, coming into the museum, I really wanted to take a breath and get to know not just the museum itself, but the staff, what has been established here as far as protocols, and really try to identify things that maybe I could help smooth along as far as some challenges or things that might have been here, and getting to know the collection, becoming more well-versed with Corvette and the history of Corvette. So that was kind of the first 6 months. Now it's about implementing that change and having a clear goal for the future.
Is there any area of the National Corvette Museum that you felt needed some immediate attention?
I'll be honest, I came in, I was very fortunate that a lot of the key players have been put in place within our library and archives. Our curator who's on board here, Brian Gable, who's fantastic. We have a registrar who's also comes from a long line of museum background. It wasn't like coming into something completely in shambles. Everyone knew what they were doing. Everyone was very passionate about what they were doing. It was lucky for me that I didn't have to come in and immediately fix anything. It was more about setting some clear objectives for the immediate future and kind of long term too.
That's good to hear. What's your vision for the NCM's exhibits and collections as we move forward, Robert?
Well, I believe that the museum needs to mirror what Corvette itself embodies, and that's a constant change and pushing themselves from a technological standpoint, but also an aesthetic standpoint of being the number one sports car in the world. I think the museum has the capability of being the top automobile museum in the world. I really believe that. As long as we keep pushing ourselves and challenging ourselves, we have the ability to achieve that. Education is something that I now oversee too, and that's a big part of my passion. I think that we have also the capability of being the number one education institution in Kentucky and this part of the country. There's a lot going for us. We're headed in the right direction. The exhibitions coming from Disney, my whole thing was edutainment. You get people in the door, they're already excited, you engage them emotionally, then you can engage them intellectually. They kind of drop their veil in a way, and you're allowed to show them something that maybe they wouldn't have normally noticed. At Disney, it was about animation, it was about costumes, props, and here it's about the automobile. It's not just Corvette, it's the history of the automobile industry. There's, like I said, technology, the physics. There's just so many different things that we could tap into.
Yeah, definitely. Now, you mentioned this a little bit earlier, but coming from La Jolla in Southern California, how's it been and transitioning over to Bowling Green?
It's been really nice because we got here, I think it was 9 degrees, snow on the ground. It was a little rough there the first week. But what I've noticed is people say it all the time. You don't like the weather, just wait a couple hours and it'll change.
Yep.
And that's true. But spring, all the flowers came in, the trees bloomed, and it's just been absolutely gorgeous. And there is so much to do around here and around Bowling Green and Kentucky and Tennessee. My family and I, we've just had a blast exploring all those places. So we're really, really enjoying it.
That's awesome. Well, Robert, thank you for taking the time to be on Corvette Today. Welcome to the National Corvette Museum. We look forward to seeing you real soon.
Yeah, likewise. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks again for listening and watching Corvette Today. And be sure to tell your family, friends, and other Corvette enthusiasts about the Corvette Today show. And thanks to our sponsors, Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Visit wheelcraft.com to learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer a wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com today or call 833-639-4231. Soul Performance Products at SOULPP.com, the official performance exhaust of Corvette Today. Ciocca Corvette at CIOCCA Corvette.com. E5 Wheels at E5Wheels.com. True Wealth & Company at RetireWithTrue.com. Also, Aerolarri Wheels. Get $100 off your purchase with the new promo code CT111 at Aerolarri.com. And Hendrick Chevrolet in Kansas City at ChevyUSA.com.
Thanks for checking out Corvette Today on podcast and YouTube. If you'd like to contact Steve with ideas for Corvette Today, you can email him at stevegarrettdj@gmail.com. Garrett has 2 R's and 2 T's. That's stevegarrettdj@gmail.com. Also, sign up for email notifications at corvettetoday.ck.page. Follow Steve and the show on social media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Threads at Steve Garrett DJ. Thanks again for listening and watching Corvette Today.